Dominick McKinley, the 5-star defensive tackle, is obviously the #1 prospect, quite honestly, for LSU in this entire recruiting cycle. They need difference-making defensive tackles. You've got Mason Smith, who will be gone after this year, Mekhi Wingo, Jacobian Guillory's getting up there. I mean, Jordan Jefferson, the transfer from West Virginia, all these guys are not going to be around in the future. And so to get Dominick McKinley would be massive. And so you look at what's going on with Dominick McKinley. That's somebody that we're always asked about on the Bengal Tiger message board. And he has official visits lined up for this summer to Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. He's expected to visit Ohio State this weekend before heading off to Texas A&M and then Oklahoma and then Texas. LSU and Alabama are the 2 schools he's looking at for that other official visit. Here's the thing. LSU doesn't normally bring Louisiana prospects in for official visits over the summer. I think this is a summer that could change. And if it does, Dominick McKinley is going to be one of those guys that you'd expect LSU to bring in. I'm not so sure when he's going to make his decision. If he does take it to the fall, if you're LSU, you probably want to use your official visit late in the recruiting cycle and say, hey, if you're going to take this to the fall, we don't necessarily want to do that. We want to have you on campus for 3 days before the early signing period. So how LSU plays this one is going to be interesting to me. But if you're looking at it from the On3 recruiting prediction machine standpoint, LSU is the heavy favorite here for the #1 player in Louisiana. He's a guy who sits in 5-star range for On3 right now, number 14 overall prospect, number 3 defensive lineman in the country. And I would say LSU is the team to beat. This is going to be one of those prospects that you're probably going to hear buzz about here and there with other schools. And he's a defensive lineman. It's a premium position in college football, as LSU fans and fans across the country have known for quite some time. It's the hardest position, in my opinion, to consistently recruit at a high level. It's just the reality of it. These guys do not grow on trees, but when they do in your backyard, like Dominick McKinley, you've got to be able to land him. And so LSU is throwing everything at Dominick McKinley to get him on board and have him be the future along the defensive line for Jimmy Lindsey. Frank Wilson's been a key in this one. Jimmy Lindsey is really starting to build that relationship more and more. He recruited him some at South Carolina. But LSU is going to have a battle on its hand in the sense that these other programs are not going to let him just sign in Louisiana because he's a Louisiana prospect and everybody thinks he's just going to stay home at LSU. They're going to make it difficult. But that is the beauty of being in the position that LSU is in. The way they've been able to recruit Louisiana, especially in this cycle right now, we've talked about it. They're sitting there in a good spot for the top 10 prospects in Louisiana. Dominick McKinley's one of those that they've got to get on board. And if he had a decision to make today, I would pick the Tigers here to land Dominick McKinley. But these visits are coming. It's all still relatively new for him. He's a guy that hasn't really been highly recruited until this spring. And this is going to be one of those guys that LSU is going to have to continue to recruit hard, get him on campus, and obviously see where the chips fall.